All right. Hello, everybody. Good morning and good evening and good afternoon as well, depending on where you are tuning in from. Hello, my name is Elise, and I am the chair for the legal committee of ILMUC India 2015, and I am really excited to meet all of you. Welcome to this webinar and to give you a quick overview of what we are going to do in the next approximately hour or so. I'm going to give you a brief introduction of who I am. I will give you a fairly brief committee overview as well. We'll go through a quick point on position papers, and after that, it's pretty much going to be Q&A time, and I want to make sure that I'm able to address any and all questions that you have. Okay, so on that note, again, my name is Elise. I am currently a senior at the University of Pennsylvania. I'm majoring in economics in the College of Arts and Sciences, so it's a little more on the theoretical end compared to typical Wharton classes. And in addition to that, I am minoring in math and English, so it's a pretty broad range of things that I'm studying. Let's see, a fun fact about myself. Well, I guess in case you didn't know, I'm also Chief Operations Officer for the conference, but I assure you that during the conference I will be fully committed to the legal committee. I guess a more legitimate fun fact would be I've been inside the largest treehouse in the world, I want to say, but in the US is for sure. Oh, and I guess a little more about my background. I was born in California, but I moved to China in third grade of primary school, where I have lived all the way until high school graduation, after which I came to Philadelphia. So that kind of international background is what first got me interested in Model UN, and I actually first joined as an assistant director for ILMUC China, after which I was able, after college, I was able to work on ILMUC, which is the high school conference in Philadelphia. I was able to be Secretary General for ILMUC China, and now I'm working on the ILMUC India conference. So really excited about the wide range of experiences. If any of you are conference organizers, I'd be happy to share tips there as well. Okay, so about our committee, at this point, since we are approximately 2 weeks away from conference, hopefully you have all read the background guide. The background guide is definitely the best starting point for any of the committee research, but I definitely encourage you to go beyond that, especially since our two topics, topic A being diplomatic and consular mission security, and the second one being the war ethics of drones. Both topics are fairly contemporary, fairly contentious as well, but there are definitely a range of news articles or scholarly discussions that you can find on both of these topics, and I would encourage you to explore these topics beyond the background guide as well. One point of potential confusion that someone brought up to me a week ago was because it's legal committee. I've been told that there might be some confusion with regards to parliamentary procedure. So on that note, I just wanted to clarify that the legal committee is a General Assembly committee, and so we will be following the typical parliamentary procedure used for General Assemblies. So we will continue to have working papers during committees, and at the very end have a draft resolution for each topic, although typically we would only get to one topic. So with that, I think I mentioned about parliamentary procedure. I've been told that the deadline for submitting position papers is November 20th, and I would definitely please make the deadline and submit your position papers. They are important for me to know how far along on the research you are and where you stand in terms of the topics that we have. For if you are part of a delegation, as in you registered through your school, your faculty advisors have to upload the position papers through the back end, so through the registration user portal on the website. If you are an individual delegate, you should be able to do that directly yourself. If you have any questions beyond this webinar, we do have a committee email. I am going to type that into the chat box as well if I can. So our committee email is legal@ilemunk-india.com. So if you have any questions, feel free to send it over there. Oh, and also within the chat, I'm showing up as Dhruv AG, in case that caused any confusion. All right, and with that, I will open up the floor to questions. On that note, there is also a 30-second lag in between me speaking and it actually being broadcasted. So in case there is a time lag, please don't feel like I'm ignoring you. I'm not sure if there are questions coming in currently. But on that note, I think I could go back into our chat history elsewhere and see if there are any pertinent questions over there first. Or if you want to introduce yourself, I would be happy to get to know you as well. Let me check. Okay, I went back into the chat history and a lot of them are crisis committee specific, which will not pertain to us. For the delegates who are hoping that we would have a crisis during our committee, that is probably not going to happen. We will see if there's a possibility for that Sunday morning, but otherwise, it is important that we engage in serious debate. Yes, the chat box is where you ask questions. That is correct. Okay, so I think to give a couple general tips about delivering speeches and committee style and kind of what I am looking for in a delegate, I will try to, my goal is for everyone in the committee to be able to learn from the experience and make this entire conference experience as formative and educational as possible. So my goal when it comes to selecting delegates to speak is that I will try to give priority to those who have not spoken before, and my goal is to maximize the number of delegates who will participate in debate in the committee. With that being said, typically speaking, if you bring up a really good point or your speeches are extremely substantive and they are able to drive the direction of debate, typically that will also end up working in your favor. But before we actually narrow down on a direction with our topics and within our topics, my priority is definitely with ensuring that those who would like to speak will get the chance to speak. So one question is, how many delegates will we have in the legal committee? So the legal committee is a General Assembly committee, and it will be one of the larger committees at ILMUC India this year. With that being said, I currently do not have an exact head count, but I want to say that we probably have around 70 delegates in the committee. I can double check with you on that if you are really curious, and shoot me an email at legal@ilmucindia.com. I can definitely get back to you. Okay, so another issue that often comes up in larger General Assembly sized committee, both in the US and pretty much everywhere else, is delegates often wonder how many working papers I will be taking and how many draft resolutions I will be entertaining. In terms of working papers, well, actually, let's start with draft resolutions. Draft resolutions, I definitely value quality over quantity. And since this is a large committee, and if I'm expecting there to be a discussion on a wide range of issues, and if I expect there to be a lot of different opinions on different topics, I would still hope to see a good amount of collaboration, and I would hope that delegates would be able to reach a consensus on certain issues and come together for discussion, whether it is formally or informally, and be able to produce the minimum number of draft resolutions. This is mostly so that, first of all, it would test your ability at negotiating and building consensus, and at the same time, if the dais isn't flooded with draft resolutions, then we would be able to give each draft resolution the attention and the time that they deserve, and I think that would play to everyone's favor. In terms of working papers, we will definitely be entertaining that throughout the conference, all the way until you reach a point where you feel that a draft resolution can be pushed out. But before that, at this point, I'm not going to limit how many working papers I am receiving. However, I think it is important for you that sometimes it might feel like working papers is a contest on speed, and I really don't think that it should that you should feel that producing a maximum number of working papers is your goal during the committee. Personally, I think at the end of the day, I value the content of what you say over whoever is the first name on the working paper, or whomever, or whoever is the first two names on the draft resolution, for example. I think whatever document that you produce should be reflective of what you are able to express and put forward in public. Okay, are there other questions about committee, about how I judge, about how I select speakers, how to approach research? How long would each topic be discussed? Okay, so we have two topics, and the way the committee will start out is that you will first debate on which topic to set the agenda to. So you will first debate on whether or not to go with topic A or topic B, and then delve into them one by one. And even though I say one by one, typically I have not ever been in a committee or seen a committee, especially a General Assembly sized committee, where we have been able to exhaustively discuss both topics. Typically, the speed at which we go through a topic is that the first session will be dedicated to setting the agenda and kind of giving a broad introduction to the topics, laying the groundwork of the discussion. And the topic at hand typically closes or reaches a draft resolution by Saturday evening. And then while we can attempt to go into the second topic that was undiscussed Saturday evening or Sunday morning, there just isn't enough time for us to discuss it in full and allow the committee to reach a draft resolution on the second topic. So typically one topic will be exhaustively discussed during the 4 days of conference, and typically 4.5 to 5 sessions will be dedicated to that topic. Great question. Addressing the question that I saw earlier from Ahmed, can a Facebook group be made for the committee? And it looks like the answer is yes. However, we can only do so after the first committee session. So a Facebook group will not be part of your pre-conference preparation process, and it shouldn't factor into your research process. I think all the formal debate and lobbying and whatnot will happen once conference begins. We don't want to stress you out beforehand. Okay, what do you expect from a delegate? Okay, so that's a good question. So I guess I'll start from what I expect from a General Assembly delegate and then narrow it down from there. So General Assemblies are the largest organ out of the types of committees that is offered at IL-McGindia this year. So I would expect a General Assembly delegate to be able to reach a wide range of people, whether that is being able to speak influentially and charismatically while you are at the podium or in front of the room, or whether that means that you are able to convincingly articulate your points within an unmoderated caucus, regardless of the forum of speaking and the method with which you deliver what you say. I think the ability to reach a wide range of audience is something that is extremely valuable for a General Assembly delegate, and it's also something that is unique to a General Assembly sized committee for delegates who want to learn that kind of skill. I would also expect that delegates are able to put some kind of structure to their speech when they speak during the speakers list, as well as moderated caucus. A little less so for moderated caucus because it's relatively more spontaneous, but considering that pretty much everyone will be on the speakers list, whether or not we get through the speakers list is a different question, but considering how you can safely expect that your name will be on the speakers list, I think this indicates some degree of preparation beforehand, and I would appreciate seeing some kind of structure with the way that you deliver your speakers list speech. What do I expect from a delegate specifically within the legal committee? I think the legal committee is pretty special in the way that, as the name of the committee suggests, we are dealing with a lot of legal issues. So even though this can be similar to other committees in the sense that we will be looking at specific topics or specific scenarios, I think there is an added layer of complexity to the legal committee because some of the questions that we will be dealing with will also be related to definitions and whether or not we are able to recommend a blanket policy that should apply to all the member states within the United Nations. And it's so I'm looking for definitely a nuanced thinker because there will be a lot of tricky issues and a lot of balancing that needs to happen considering the diversity in political regimes, for example, of the countries represented. So a nuanced thinker who is able to consider the potential points of contention with each debate argument will be able to preempt a lot of the opposition and be able to think of more, I guess, comprehensive solutions and a more multifaceted way of approaching the issue or the definition at hand. So I guess in some, with regard to legal committee specifically, I think a nuanced thinker and someone who is able to look at the issue at hand from all different perspectives is definitely a very valuable quality that I will be looking for. And then in terms of delegates in general and specific and how you carry yourself in committee and how you choose to deliver your points is also important. I think different delivery styles and different ways of speaking work for different people. I don't think there is a universally correct way of delivering a speech or a universally correct way of speaking to people in general, but as long as your end goal of being effective with what you deliver is achieved, then I think that makes a fairly successful delegate. Are there other questions? These are all good questions, by the way. I think people would be interested in knowing. And in addition to put in a note for how to prepare and how to research for this committee as well as the conference in general, there are a lot of resources that are available to